Vote for Mitt Romney. Romney will stop poverty and get people off of welfare that don't need it. OnTheIssues.com. I'm not concerned about the very poor. We have a safety net there. If it needs repair, I'll fix it. I'm not concerned about the very rich. They're doing just fine. I'm concerned about the very heart of America, the 90 to 95% of Americans who right now are struggling. You can focus on the very poor, but that's not my focus. Romney added that he's more worried about the unemployed people living on welfare and those struggling to send their kids to college. My energy is going to be devoted to helping middle-income people, said Romney. 70% of Americans want the American dream. They believe in the American idea. Only 30% want the welfare state, Ryan said. Before too long, we could become a society where the net majority of Americans are takers, not makers, said Romney. There are 47% of the people who will vote for the president no matter what. There are 47% who are with him, who are dependent upon the government, who believe that the government has a responsibility to care for them, who believe that they are entitled to health care, to food, and to housing. My warrant is that Romney wants to get people off of welfare that don't need it. He can understand if someone has a job or is trying hard to find one while using welfare. But the people that live off of welfare and don't try to find a job should not have the opportunity to use it. He says that he is not worried about the very poor because they have a safety net. This means that if something happens to poor people, the government has a backup plan or a different plan to fall back on. Romney wants to focus on the real issues, like the middle-class families. The poor is a problem, but not as many people are poor as to being in the middle class or middle-income families. The problem includes unfair taxes to help the poor, which are not needed. The middle-income families make up the majority of the country, and they are in the worst shape. Obama says he wants to help everyone, but clearly that is not happening. He keeps saying this is more than a 4-year plan, but now no one trusts him enough to vote in his favor. Romney will actually help the real problems during his term as president. If Obama is elected as president, he will only add on to the problems that he has created, and he will not support the middle-income families who are rich, paying the highest taxes for their income class. Romney will stop the mess that Obama has created and will lower the taxes going towards the poor. He will bring the economy back up to standards. Vote for Romney because he will clean up Obama's mess. Vote for Mitt Romney. Some people say that Romney exaggerates Obama's stance on welfare, but there is evidence why they are wrong. PrairiePundit.com. Romney's ads are overstated and oversimplified. Some of them say Obama has ended the work requirement. Not that he plans to end it, but they get a decidedly non-trivial point, which is that Obama's Department of Health and Human Services is undermining at least 2 aspects of the historic 1996 welfare reform law. The first is that recipients should be required to work first at the best job they can get, rather than be paid to prepare for a better job that may or may not materialize down the line. The second is that we want to get welfare recipients into jobs quickly, because that's the best way to require work. To deter would be keeping recipients from making the bad choices that would put them into poverty in the first place. Lawrence Mean, New York University. Romney claims that under the new Obama policy, you wouldn't have to work. They just send you your welfare check. In fact, no such changes have been made. As written, the policy merely gives states more leeway in their enforcement of work rules, subject to federal approval. My warrant for this is, in the opponent's view, Romney didn't make his plans detailed enough or exaggerated on Obama's stance for welfare. Romney says that while using Obama's policy, people wouldn't even have to work, that the government would just mail them a check, which is abusing the reason for welfare, because if you don't actually need welfare, then you should not use it. Some people don't understand this, maybe even Obama, but something needs to be done about it, and that's where Romney comes in. He will stop the abusing of welfare by requiring people on welfare to work first, meaning they should have to find the best job they can and one that will materialize in the near future. Also, Romney would like to get the welfare recipients into jobs as quickly as possible because the sooner people have jobs, the sooner the economy will be back at its normal standard, and our country can pay off the debt with the money Romney will save from using this policy. Vote for Romney to improve the economy and stop unneeded welfare spending.